Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the slot, the NHSL panel show. Today, we're going to announce who's winning the MVP of the regular season, the first ever NHSL MVP, and the winner is... Now, we're not going to do it right off the bat because, why would people watch all of a sudden? We're going to drag this thing out as long as humanly possible. But we do have our three candidates here who all had spectacular seasons. Zach Boyle from the Brewers, defenseman with 9 goals, few assists chipped in there. He had the points lead up until the last second, 10 goals, 6 assists. Yoann Levesque joins us from the Stars. And from the extreme, the guy that took the point lead and shared the goal scoring lead with Yoann Levesque, it's Xander Wardlaw. Boys, first off, thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for having us.
Now, this just we put, we were talking to some of the coaches, the GMs, some other players around the league, some people who've been watching the competition, trying to formulate who's going to win this award. And it honestly, it was never the intention to have one player from each team, to be totally honest. That's just kind of the fluke of it, and that's just kind of what happened. So congratulations on all of you, at least getting this far in a spectacular season from you all.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we'll get to you guys in a second, but we got to talk about the playoff game that just happened. Game 1, best of 5 series. Yoann and I called it. You boys were playing it. That looked like a hell of... Was that one of the most fun games to play in? I'm sure Yoann's sitting there kind of grinding away, not wanting to hear this answer, but that had to be one of the most fun you played in.
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably, the most exciting game of the season. Hard playing game, hockey, hit every second, every single shift. You had no space or time, and it was just an exciting game to watch, We've had lots of high-scoring goals this game this season, but, having a 2-2 game, going into overtime, it was just a hard-fought game. It was just all about grit and, who wants it more.
Did it feel like the intensity went up?
The intensity, yeah, over 100. Everyone was finishing every hit. No one was backing out of going into the corners, and it was good to see a close game for once, like Xander said.
Well, let's do our little Jay and Dan Sportscenter recap here with the highlights that went on. The goalies were honestly the main point of this game, and right from the get-go, Jeremy Friedrich and Mateusz were making some big saves, but a little turnover right here in Tyler Leeming. He's hot right now. He made it a 1-0 hockey game. Then Andrew Stapleton with the save of the season. He's Sean 2, Tyler Leeming, goal number 2. It was 2-0. It was looking pretty good, but a good pushback from the extreme at the end of the period. Finally, Xander scored in the start of the third, made it 2-1. Mateusz, how you going? A couple more big saves. Jeremy Friedrich, 2-1 late in the game. Stopped Steve Best. Wild sequence of events set this one up. That was crazy with 3 minutes to go, 2-2. Overtime, and then it looked like the Extreme had a chance to win the game right here in overtime, but goes down the ice. Harley Anderson, bingo, bongo, 3-2 OT win. There's your rapid fire recap. That was a roller coaster of emotions watching that game.
Yeah, it was crazy sort of playing the game. We had that last regular season game where sort of, all the standings were set. It sort of didn't really mean a whole lot, but then playing that first final game was just like a step and a half. It was crazy.
From the Extreme perspective, what was the message in the locker room after the game? Was it one of disappointment? Were you feeling it? Where were you feeling after that?
Look, I mean, we're all pretty bummed. We all worked extremely hard, going into overtime and everything. But, the coaches and boys, we all had our heads up. We knew that it was a hard game. It went down to overtime. Both teams had chances, but, we were still happy with the way that we worked and performed. And we just got to lift our heads here, get back to practice on Wednesday, and come out for Game 2 firing.
Zach, before obviously you would have been pumped to win the game. I want to know what the Brewer mood in the locker room was after the third period when you had the 2-0 lead going into it, and then all of a sudden they score late. What was that third intermission mood?
Oh, it's just stay disciplined, stay focused, and we had the task at hand to do, and it was just get out there and do it. Keep firing, don't give up, keep our heads up, stay out of the box.
How do you think that game stacked up compared to the other 12 games of NHSL hockey we saw before?
Definitely the hardest game we've played so far.
Really?
But, yeah.
In what way?
What way? It was just probably just the intensity. It was a roller coaster, like you were saying, and you just had to ride it.
Yeah, no, the exact same. You didn't have an inch of space or time. There was always a hit being thrown somewhere. You always had to be ready, and I think it was just a really hard fought out hockey game, and it was really fun to play in.
Yoann, from an analytical point of view, how did you see it?
I think I saw it a little bit like a chess match for the first period. I feel like it was a lot of anticipation and everything, a lot of nerves. At the beginning, I felt like you guys needed a little bit of reps on the ice to get yourself going. And then the moment that they started to understand a little bit the game plan or the strategy that both teams were having, it was to be able to fire and make sure that the other team was actually creating turnovers. I think it was the battle of the turnovers at the end of it that made a difference into that game.
Both goalies made 40 saves. Let's start with Jeremy Friedrich. He made 40 saves in the game. He allowed that earlier one, but we have some highlight clips of some of the saves that he made during the game. I mean, he was ridiculous and showing why he was a marquee player. That must have fired you up. He kept you guys in that game when it was down 2-0 at one point.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's been a bit shaky, hasn't played the best all season, but, give him the props. He had a really good game this one, so he really turned it on and got the boys firing.
Frustrated you a little bit out there, Zach?
Yeah, a little bit, definitely. I was just watching a video then of him robbing me there, so definitely frustrating.
And then on the other end, and we'll get to the highlights in a second, this was on Steve Best. How clutch was this late in the game? Like not shorthanded. And then in overtime, both goalies made a save early on. Like this one, I couldn't believe. I thought it was over 30 seconds in. I don't know how he stopped that puck. That was awesome to see. I bet you the goalies were kind of like elevating it a bit there too. Then there's Andrew Stapleton's save. Actually, on that moment, on that goal, could you guys hear in the crowd, like, is that the moment the crowd kind of amped up a little bit, this Stapleton save?
Yeah, look, I was sort of right there in front of Stapes there, but all I could hear was just the crowd were going absolutely wild, especially watching it over the replay, and just wasn't really sure if it was in or not. I didn't think it was in. And,
Zach?
Stapes made save of the year.
I was on the bench, so I couldn't tell. But just hearing the roar of the crowd, it's like, oh, did it go in? I had no idea until obviously the replay came up.
Crowd was making big roars when Mateusz Trinko was making some saves. Here are the highlights from Mateusz and how he went on there. Again, all year long, Mateusz seems to find a way to make big saves when the team needs it the most. I mean, what's it been like playing in front of him?
Oh, it gives you so much more confidence. You allow me to, as a D, to rush the puck even because you got such a good goalie back there that he's got you covered.
And then, but what about Mateusz in those comeback games, right? Because obviously he had some shaky starts, like going down 7-0 wasn't great. First game of the year, allowed 2 goals in his first few shots, and then kept you in it. You finally win in overtime. He just battles for you.
He's mentally tough. He's always there, always wanting to win. So he never gives up. So you can see that at practice every week. Always there, always battling.
Well, that was certainly a really exciting game. 2-2 into overtime. Harley Anderson gets the winner, and that's where we are, 1-0 in the series. Boys, it must be fun to play in, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's probably the most fun I've ever had playing a hockey game.
Has the preparation kind of changed from a regular season game to now a series where you're playing the same opponent maybe 5 times?
No, it hasn't changed. Just keep going to practice every week and training hard.
You guys have kind of turned a page to the Brewers, haven't you? Like you found some form.
Yeah, we basically just view a review every week. Go in, see what we can do better. Team meetings have just been helping.
Well, that's the recap of Game 1. Let's talk about awards and each of your seasons going on there. We'll have a bit of a chat. First off, we'll just recap some of the awards that have been released over social media the last couple days. Goalie of the year, you just saw his highlight package, Mateusz Trinka. That was a tough one. Like everybody was kind of the same, to be honest. Similar save percentage, similar goals against average, very high scoring, high offensive league. Tough for the goalies at sometimes, lots of shot volumes. Not much in there. Mateusz just had the edge a little bit. Mateusz, Yoann, you were against Mateusz a little bit. A deserving winner?
Absolutely, I think so. One of the greatest things with Mateusz is how he challenged the guy that he's about to shoot. He's always in your face. He's very athletic too. He moves really well. Probably because he's 17 years old and he's very cocky in his positioning. But you can see the way that he charges at you, the way that he wants the puck to hit him. For a shooter, it's difficult. It's very difficult to go against him.
Defenseman Zach Boyle sitting over there. He won the Defenseman of the Year, which shouldn't be surprising given he's the only defenseman sitting on this panel right now. So it'd be kind of weird if he didn't, I suppose. So Zach Boyle wins that. The points, Xander, you were the point leader. Yoann and Xander, both of you, shared for goals. Zach was 1 goal behind, actually. So 3 leading goal scorers right here in this league. And Nat Benson with the assist. The first team All-Stars, Yoann Levesque, Xander Wardlaw, Steve Best from the Brewers, Zach Boyle from the Brewers, Graham Charbonneau from the Extreme, and Mateusz Trinka in net. All in all, that's a pretty solid first team All-Star. All pretty solid seasons from across the board.
Crazy that I ended up being the centerman.
Well, you're just listed as 3 forwards. We just have 3 forwards listed in there. That's just what's happened. So you can fight with Xander and Steve about who takes the face-offs.
Xander, are you good at face-offs?
Yeah.
Okay, you take it.
Perfect. Xander can jump in there. No, that's just sort of how it's happened. But Yoann, we'll start with you. Big season, 10 goals, 6 assists. How did this season match up with your expectations, if there were any at all?
I had no expectation. That was the biggest thing when I arrived here. I just wanted to come and play hockey, play the sport that I love. And I just saw the opportunity of playing that league and to give it the best shot I can, you know? So when I came here with just being open-minded into having the time of my life, obviously after the first game, I was a bit shocked. I was like, okay, I think I can pull something out of this league, you know, I can get something good out of all this. But at the end of it, I didn't came with any expectation. I just been surprisingly happy about it.
And when you say you had a lot of fun out throughout the way, like what was something maybe you appreciated the most about this experience when you're kind of looking back on that? I know you're leaving in a couple days too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up in Canada, you know, like playing professional hockey always been a little bit of a child dream, you know. Whether you play in the first season of the NHSL or you play in the National Hockey League, playing professional, saying to yourself that you are actually a pro into a sport that you love was the biggest thing, you know. So just to be part of this and to say to myself, I'm about to step on the ice as a professional, that was the biggest thing. Like, yeah, it was just that driven moment of I'm about to realize a childhood dream.
So then on your on-ice play, when you're living that childhood dream, how would you describe your gameplay if you're writing a scouting report for yourself this season?
Well, that was one of the biggest things, and I feel like it's actually a pretty good segue with basically what Justine said last week. I'm not a...
Yeah, you have no skills.
Exactly, I have no skills now, but to be very honest with you, I don't consider myself as a natural in a certain way. You know, you have guys like Xander, you have guys like Jake Riley that are unbelievable with the puck, you know, like Steve Best, you know, that has hands to kill. What really probably make me a bit different to those guys is the way I read the game. Probably my positioning. I'm older than those guys too, so I don't have the legs that I usually had when I was 21 or 22 years old. So I had to figure it out a way to make myself to be part of the play every time that I was on the ice, to make myself involved into whatever was happening. And one of the biggest thing is my hockey IQ. I just figured out a way to get always close to the puck. That was my biggest thing.
Boys, what was it like playing against Xander? Like, what made him such a special player that's deserving of this nomination, I guess?
Well, I've never really got the chance to play against Xander yet or play with him, so it was definitely an experience. Him and Nathaniel, they're just guns together, so highest assists and highest goals, so makes sense.
What about Yoann going against him?
Yoann, again, haven't played against him. He was come out firing. I was not expecting that. So I've never met before, never known before. And hockey, obviously hockey in Australia is such a small community, and having Yoann come out and just start killing it in the league, it's definitely an eye-opener.
Do you have a couple good battles against Yoann this year or what?
Oh, absolutely. You know, good mates off the ice, but just the battling on the ice. Like, it was a lot of fun. You know, I think we both sort of pushed each other to, you know, do what we do best and just
Absolutely.
get out there, do what we can.
What about outside of the rink? Like, how'd you find Adelaide in terms of the actual city and the life here?
It's been great. It's been great. That was one of the biggest part of the experience is the moment I stepped out of the plane the first day to that first practice at 5:45 in the morning to all the way to here right now, I've been welcomed like a prince. It's been unbelievable. People's been taking care of me. I click with every single person here. I feel like it's been so easy for me to be part of that community that quick that yes, it's gonna hurt on Saturday when I'm gonna actually get in the plane and go back home. You know, like I feel like it's a new family that I actually created here, and yeah, there's people that I'm gonna remember and I'm gonna have in my close circle forever now.
What about you, Xander? How did you find Adelaide, the off-ice stuff? Because you're from Sydney as well, and another interstate player that came in the league?
Oh, absolutely. It's been awesome. You know, from the second I got off the plane, you know, I had Uber Friedrich, you know, picking me up, driving me around,
Uber
taking me.
Friedrich.
Yeah, that's it. No, and look, you know, from from the get-go of this whole league, just hearing it, Tash has taken great care of me. She's done absolutely everything possible for myself and all the players in our team, and it's just been welcomed so much here, and it's been a great experience.
Yoann, you have a player that you love to play with on the Stars this year?
Well, there's a couple, I have to say, but I have to give a big shout out to my two line mates that I had the last couple of games, Daniel Chen and Jake Riley. They've been a little bit of my little brothers, while I was here. I was kind of like
The kids.
Yeah, the kids, and it was great because we were doing a lot of off-ice together, off-ice sessions together. We were working really hard, and we kept on looking at ourselves being like, it's gonna pay off. We have to keep working together and try to bring everyone together, because if we show that we are the hardest people out there, hardest working people out there, it's gonna bring something out of this. And yeah, I just created a great bond with those guys off, but also on the ice. We've been buzzing around. It was really good.
Now, we had fun watching you play, Yoann, this year. The 4-goal game was certainly a memorable one for a lot of reasons. The celebration, getting it was a great time. So congrats on a great season.
Thank you very much.
Zach Boyle, you had a big season this year. 9 goals. 9 goals as a defense. Are you looking to score when you're out on the ice?
No, it's just going out every shift and just trying to be better. Wasn't expecting that at all out of this season.
Do you think your game has got better from when you got named as a marquee player at the start of the year to where you finished?
I definitely think it's like having hockey over the summer is like obviously not much hockey during the winter. I definitely think I've improved over this season.
What part of your game, if you were to assess your game and you were to say, like, look at Zach Boyle, if you were giving yourselves like an NHL rating on there, you have like your awareness, your playmaking, your skating, your defense, whatever it is, all those little sliders that you can adjust. What do you think has improved on the Zach Boyle sliders to this point?
After this season, probably my offense. Usually just the goal scoring. There's just so many opportunities during the season just to join the rush with the forwards. Like we got such good forwards like Stevie that you can just join up and they'll pass you the puck and get you the goal.
Do you feel like you're taking care of the puck a bit better this year?
Yeah, definitely. Being a smarter option, not getting myself in trouble and turning over the puck and just feeding onto the boys.
And how much of the systems come into that maybe like Coach Villani or Bill Newbound or Jared or someone puts into that in terms of your own style of game, the influence that they have on that?
Oh, it was huge. We, as a marquee with Stevie, we worked with the systems with each other. So always talking about it before every game, what we can improve, what we can adjust on the power play. We were struggling at the start of the season on our power play, and we adjusted that, and it started working.
And what about the leadership role? Like when you're named a marquee player, there's some expectation on being the leader. And I know Jake Riley probably feels like he was in the hot seat for a lot of the year and a lot of comments there. I mean, you're a local boy, you're named a marquee player, you're playing with Steve Best. Did you feel pressure to be a leader and maybe a bit of even a different position you've maybe been in from before?
No, I try to not let the pressure get to me. Otherwise, it's just going to affect your game. So you just kind of take it as it comes.
Boys, it's really hard to talk about yourself. I get that.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you think Zach Boyle progressed throughout the year? If you guys could comment on that.
Oh, well, I think, like he said, with his offensive awareness and what he can do with the puck, I think having a defender who can make a great pass, who can skate it up and even do it himself, like that's huge for a team. If you can get out of your zone with speed and have players that you can jump up into the play with, like that's a huge asset for your team.
I think one of the biggest things that I realized with you is probably the you've always been naturally, like you always wanted to carry the puck naturally. You're like that. Everyone says you're the forward almost. But I feel like one thing that you were actually realizing is you were becoming more confident with the puck, or even without. Being able to help your defenseman. You had like Tristan Reese with you the last couple of weeks, and you've been mentoring him really, really well, defensively, and I feel like that is probably one of your biggest assets now is your plus minus is really good also,
Top in the league, plus 11, next closest was plus 6.
So I feel like defensively and offensively now, I feel like you're just making yourself more as a two-way defenseman that has a really good upside offensively, obviously.
What about that connection with Tristan Reese? Because I think, was that first or second game you were playing with Tristan? Were you wire to wire with him?
I think it was about the second or third game we got put together. I was with Jake O'Brien for the first couple games. Just wasn't clicking. We just went on the same, just same chemistry, basically. So chuck Tristan up with me, and it just seemed to work.
Because Tristan had he'd basically been a career, effectively an A-grade player in the Adelaide local competition, and like he was in that conversations for is he making the team of the year? Because he had a really solid season. What was it like playing with Tristan, and how did you help him, and how did he help you?
He was a good stay-at-home D. You can have faith with him on the puck just to put the puck deep or get the puck out. So it allowed me to have that confidence to join the rush, and because I knew he would have my back and be back there for me.
What's it been like playing with your brother?
Well, we played in the local
Prem,
Prem together, but it's been fun. It's like we always a bit of to and fro, you know.
You ever wish you could go against him like some of the other brothers this year?
Yeah, definitely. That would be a bit of fun.
And then I guess Zach, you're one of all the people I know. You love your hockey. You keep coming back. You're always around it. What keeps you coming back to the rink and getting involved with the community here?
I just want to get better. I just keep doing the next thing. So it's helping out in the community, like playing these leagues, helping out the new kids, just kind of being the next mentor even. Yeah.
Zach, a tremendous year. 9 goals is ridiculous from a defenseman. The first hat trick, out of all the goal scorers we have here, the first hat trick was a frickin' defenseman, and it was Zach Boyle. That was an epic game as well.
I couldn't believe that either. Yeah.
You were actually a big game player this year. Think back to that elimination game, 2 goals, 2 assists you had in that one. Like, were you going into that game being just like, I'm going to leave it all out there and kind of like...
Definitely. It's like there was not a chance that we were going to be finishing up that season, that game. So it's kind of put it on my back. And I was like, let's do this.
Yeah, 4 points. How you doing? That was pretty good. Another guy that showed up with a couple clutch moments. That scoring race was awesome right at the end. Your family flies in. You need 3 points to take the point lead, 3 goals for the goal scoring or tie it there, and you just score all 3 goals. That would have must been special though with your family in attendance.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really special having my family come down. Just having them there in the crowd. I know that they watch all the games. They shoot me messages even during the game. They text me, "Oh, what are you doing here? What's going on?" Or "You should have scored that. Wake up." No, but to have them all sort of fly down and just be there. It was absolutely awesome, and Yoann and I have been pretty close with the scoring race all sort of season, and I thought it's the last game of the season. Let's just leave everything out there and do what we can do.
Your family, I think, does the same thing, right? Text you during the game, just being just like, Yoann, what are you doing?
Yeah, but I try to, I'm not looking at it until the end of the game, but the problem is when I look at my phone after that, I'm like, oh crap, that's first period thing, or that's a second period thing, or that's a turnover there, or oh, congratulations, you just scored. I'm like, oh, okay, that's crazy. Like,
who's texting you the most out of your family members?
Probably girlfriend and then brothers. Brothers just, give me
I had a chat with one of your brothers.
Oh, you suck, you didn't score that. Oh, I should be there instead of you. You can't do this. But no, look, it's all part of the banter and the love, and just having them watch all the games. It means a lot when you're away from your family and stuff. But it's a lot of fun.
Is it your dad?
Oh, my dad is relentless. My dad's been watching every single game, and he will call me and he would be like, yeah, on that shift, you went out of the zone too quickly. You have to be a bit more like aware of that. Don't go out too quickly when you're in defensive zone. I'm like, Dad, like, I just want to play hockey, man.
Dads be dadding. That's just what they do.
No, he's been really good. He's been awesome.
Xander, how has your game, do you think, developed as the season's gone on?
I think my game developed in sort of like playmaking and just sort of bouncing off players. Like the connection that Nat and I had this year has just been unbelievable. And we started off with Ollie at the start. We were still able to do well there, and then having Joey come into our line, like we all complement our games. And I think sort of becoming more of that sort of playmaker and just sort of trying to help my team as much as possible so we can hopefully win the cup.
We talked about that on the broadcast a little bit about how the top lines of both the teams, they have these unique skill sets that complement each other. Walk me through that. Describe that McDougall, Benson, Wardlaw, what you each bring to the puzzle, I guess, on that top line.
Well, I think we'll start with Joey. He's just like his all-round game is really good and strong. Like he's in his D zone, he's working his ass off. He's getting the puck out of the corner, then he's hitting myself and Nat on the wings, and we're going down with speed, and he doesn't even take a breath. Like Joey's just back up down the other end. He'll work hard in the offensive zone, get the puck to us, and I think we've all got that speed, so we're all up with each other, and like he always just sort of finds a way to get the puck to either myself or Nat, and like Nat and I have countless odd man rushes and just sort of played really well off each other. So
I think as soon as you two are drafted on the same team, like everybody, I mean, they could have separated you guys and put you on two different lines. That would have made sense as well in some ways, right? You split some scoring there, but it's like everybody knew, you're like, yeah, these guys are pairing up together and they're probably going to do pretty good. And then they score combined 33 points and you're like, yep, okay, yep, that makes some sense. Were they a hand, like, what's it like defensively when you have Nat and Xander buzzing around out there?
You got to be aware. It's like you can see it like on all the replays, like when Nat and Xander are out there, they're lethal. It's like you got to have your head on a swivel, making sure it's either Xander or Nathaniel in the slot that's burying it every time.
So how would you describe your game? Are you, because like we've seen some games where you're sniping, we've seen some games where you're passing the puck off. Like, what is your, like, how would you define yourself in any way, or?
I don't know, like, although I sort of did end up with, you know, the most goals and stuff, I sort of see myself more as a playmaker, and I want to make the right play for our team to score. You know, I obviously, you know, love scoring goals, and, you know, that's all good and fun, but if I got a teammate who's in a better position than me, then, you know, I'll give them the puck, because, you know, I trust all my teammates 100%. If you're on the ice with me, then, you know, if you're in the right spot, then you'll get the puck.
Yoann, one of those guys we talk about on the broadcast that just likes to create offense, I guess.
Yeah, and super dynamic. You know, like he's the type of guy that, you know, he never glides on the ice. He's always in motion. So it's very difficult to defend when the guy is always a step like in front of you in every play that he's doing.
Xander, one thing that's very noticeable from everybody in the building, you talk a lot when you're on the ice.
Yeah, of course. You got to let them know that you're there.
What are you saying?
What am I saying? Like, you just got to let them know, like, that you're there. You know, you're a hound on the ice, and you're not going to give up till you know the end of the game. And it's, you know, I'm friends with a lot of people, you know, throughout the league, both, you know, who are on my team, aren't on my team, you know. But what happens on the ice stays on the ice, and, you know, I just play my game, doing what I can.
I love that you own that right away, and you're like, yeah, of course. Like, that's awesome. Just part of the game. And I think it's like some of the endearing things that like people and fans watch, and they gravitate to that because it actually shows that you probably care about what you're doing out on the ice.
Oh, absolutely. I love playing hockey, and, you know, that's the thing, you know, you go overseas and you play, you know, everyone's chirping. Everyone always has something to say, and, you know, you're just trying to get in their head and sort of gain that little mental advantage over them. And if you can do that, then down the track, like, that'll really help you.
Can you guys hear Xander on the ice?
Oh, every time. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not even a question.
It's not even a question. I love
not
it.
even a question. I tried to break, like most of the time I tried to break fights. You know, I'm a bit of a lover out there. So I try, hey, whoa, guys. I'm not going to do that all the time with you, man. You have to be able to...
I feel like that's just playing into his hand, though. Just being like, yep, got him rattled.
Yeah, it's
just funny.
Just doing my job, you know. He's thinking about different things. I'm thinking about hockey, so...
Right.
Now, I love that. And do you think your game did develop at the end? Like, you did become a better player through playing in this league?
Oh, absolutely. You know, being sort of moved around a little, you know, playing with a few different combinations and stuff. And I think just being able to have the opportunity to, you know, skate a few times a week, have a game almost every week, like just being on the ice, you know, you're obviously going to develop. And, you know, had great coaches in Eric and Stu around, you know, a great bunch of teammates, you know, guys with experience, you know, older guys. So it's been really good and lots of fun. And I think, yeah, I've developed quite a bit.
Are your friends in New South Wales a little jealous that you have to play in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I got quite a few guys sort of messaging me saying, oh, you sure you're going to go over and play that? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's hockey, you know. And I think a few guys are sort of seeing that, oh, okay, like this is actually, you know, pretty good, and what's going on is the real deal. So, you know, definitely a few guys who are like, oh, I wish I put in for that.
Yoann, same thing in WA, people noticing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of people that were asking me the same thing, like, why are you not just staying here and play Summer League or whatever else? And after
this is better than Summer League.
And you arrive. Well, the Summer League in Perth is actually pretty good. Yeah. You get Thunder guys that play in the Summer League. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. But it was a no-brainer for me. So when I came here and they saw a couple of like little footage or even the broadcast, I got.
And you're on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's another really good point. But after the first game, they were like, okay, this is legit. This is really good. Like, this is fun. It looks like it's a good, fun gig to be part of.
Well, boys, thank you so much for joining me, and all of you very deserving nominations for this award. All of you crucial to the scene. I think everybody loved watching you play. So sincerely, because I get to go and tell the stories of the game. And like, whether it be Xander, your playmaking ability, your goals, your flair on the ice, it's been awesome to watch you play. So thanks for coming over. It's been so fun telling your story. Yoann, everybody loves you back home. They calling you Joey Quebec. My brother-in-law texted me being like, I love Joey Quebec. Your celebrations after that goal, the intensity on the ice, that's been awesome to watch you play. So thanks for giving me something fun to talk about, especially when the Stars are playing. Zach, I've watched you since you were like 16 years old.
Yeah,
so it's been pretty cool to watch you develop. For me, I haven't seen these guys play up close and personal before. I've seen a lot of Zach Boyle before. So it was kind of like, okay, what's Zach going to show me this year that is different from other Zach Boyles that's been the exciting playmaker before? But for me, I thought, especially the second half, and in that last playoff game, like, you were just a menace defensively. Like, we all know that you can put up points. We all know that you can move the puck. Like Yoann said, I think away from the puck, it was awesome to watch the influence you had of you and your teammates. So thank you very much for giving me a fantastic journey watching that. And everybody in Adelaide, I think, really enjoyed seeing you step up as well.
Thank you, Eric.
So, boys, I'm sad that I have to give this to just one person, but that is how MVPs work. It's not the most valuable players. That would be you, I guess, collectively, considering you're the nomination. But the MVP is, do we get a drum roll from the boys sitting here, or what it is? How do we do this? I don't even know. The most valuable player, the first one of the NHSL, is Adelaide's own Zach Boyle. Zach, congratulations on winning the MVP.
Thanks, guys.
I guess, like, who on your team helped you a lot get this award?
I think it was the whole team. Like, it wasn't just an individual effort. It was like all the team, like the guys getting behind each other and, just succeeding together. So can't really pinpoint one person.
Do you think you have like a defining game maybe for you that like you're gonna really remember from the regular season?
Probably, definitely that hat-trick game. I think that was a turning point for my season. I had a little bit of a slow start, but that was probably the turning point of the season, kind of getting momentum.
When you're going in a goal-scoring route, like, do you have like tunnel vision of the goals, or is it honestly just hey, I have a lane, I guess I'm just going to jump up and take it?
Definitely just have the lane, have the opportunity, I'm going to take it. It's like if I get given the opportunity, I'm just going to go down there and score.
Well, Zach, again, congratulations, and boys, again, awesome season. It was a lot of fun to watch you guys play.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But we have the next game coming up. It's on Friday night. Boys, you guys have been training a couple times a week still, getting everything in. And I'm assuming you can't say what they are because you're in the room. But do you make adjustments after a game like that? Because both teams played well.
For us, I don't think we're going to make any adjustments because I think we know our strengths and what we can do with our game. As long as everyone buys in, we get back to work. We just been focused on what we've been doing all season, then I think we should be good here.
Are you looking forward to having a certain line mate back in the lineup potentially?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be great to have Nat back. I felt like we did miss him on the weekend, on Friday, but we'll get him back and, he'll show us what he can do.
And is Mitch trying to maybe make a further counter to knowing that there's some guys coming back in the lineup, or is it like, boys, you played well, keep going?
We'll find out tonight once we're after practice, I guess. But no, I think we just got to keep working hard. I think kick it up another notch and work harder because we know Nathaniel's going to be back. So tighten up defensively and keep going.
And is it too crazy to expect a repeat, like another close game, or is it going to be one team maybe pulling away with it? We can't have every game close, can we?
Oh, I think it will be doable to have like a full series of very close game because it's a very, there are two teams with very different mindset, very different way of playing, but when they clash together, it makes really interesting games. Every time we've been calling the game together, it's been games that, the game where they've been exchanging goals. I'll see like the old game, like that. I think it was like that 6-5 kind of game, that just went like on and on and on, back and forth. They are very exciting teams, just two very different teams, two different mentality, and it's going to be a good clash until the end.
You'll watch that Friday night, Game 2. It's a big one. The Extreme trying to tie this series up. The Brewers looking to take a stranglehold. Congrats to all of our award winners. Congrats to Zach Boyle. These are the regular season awards. There will be some more awards for the playoffs. It's a 5-game series. Like, there's got to be something there. Boys, thank you very much for joining us. And everybody else, we'll see you Friday night. SBS On Demand, Game 2, NHSL Finals.